flagship killer. Is it still the flagship killer? After so many months, you know, it's been roughly a year already since OnePlus ONE released their phone, which is, you know, never settle, their slogan, you know, basically not wasting your money on things that are gonna cost you, you know, an arm and leg and all that good stuff. So the one thing that I guess OnePlus ONE has always prided themselves on as a company, especially being an up-and-coming startup, is that this phone is basically very affordable. It's $350, comes with 64 gigabytes of memory, 3 gigs of RAM, the Snapdragon 2.5 gigahertz 801 processor and all that good stuff, which basically compared to other phones in the same price range like the Galaxy S5 or the M8 at the time would have been almost double the price. Actually, it was double the price, so it's kind of different. So I guess, you know, after a year, is it still worth buying this phone? Definitely. You're gonna get all the same things as those phones plus more because you're having Cyanogen mod, which is kind of, it's basically built on 4.4 KitKat, but as of now they already have the Oxygen OS and the Cyanogen mod 12, which is basically more updated with the Lollipop. I guess it just depends, you know, what is it that you're trying to get out of your phone. If you're trying to get a phone that gives you a great camera, a 13 megapixel camera, 64 gigs of memory, Android based system without all the overlays like TouchWiz that Samsung has, or many of the other Android phones that are out there, this is definitely the best, you know, bang for your buck. You know, a lot of the reasons why OnePlus ONE got a lot of bad rap, you know, right when it was first released, was the main reason that it had a lot of bugs, battery was draining, battery wasn't charging, SIM card wasn't reading properly on it, and this is all due to software issues, which they since then have updated it. But you know, a lot of people don't like waiting for things, and you know, it's in their own right. If somebody purchases a phone, as soon as they open it right out of the box, they want it to work, right? Which is perfectly right. Another flack that it had was when you would have a widescreen like so. In the very bottom part of the actual screen right here, there would be like a little yellow tint, but you know, it hasn't really been fixed. You know, it's been over a year already, or actually it's been a year exactly, and it seems like OnePlus ONE still hasn't fixed this. I actually just received this about a week ago, and I still see the tint. A lot of people, I've looked in forums, and a lot of people say that it's due to the yellow tinting on there because it hasn't cured or whatever, but I've actually set it in the sun for an hour. I've put it under a UV light. It's still there. It's very, I mean, I can still tell just because I have damn glasses and I can see through everything, but you know, that's one of the things that they actually had a lack of, which, you know, it just depends on a lot of things. Is this still a good phone to buy? Hell yes. You're getting way more bang for your buck. You're getting a factory unlocked phone, which you can use for any carrier around the world that uses GSM technology. Here in the US, it would be like AT&T, T-Mobile, prepaid carriers like Simple Mobile, Oxygen, O2, anything like that. So is it worth it? Yeah. I mean, there's so many things this phone can do. You can record in 4K. I've tested the camera. I think it's better. I think this is basically a Nexus 5 on steroids. Literally, you know, you have the Nexus 5 came in at what, 4.92 inch screen, basically 5 inches. This one's 5.5, thinner, better camera, definitely way better camera than the Nexus 5. Battery life is amazing on this phone. Like, I have used it pretty heavy, you know, at my job. I'm a wireless rep at a company, I can't say, but when I go to my job, I usually on my break I watch TV or whatever, and or Hulu, Netflix, anything like that. I use the crap out of this phone. When I first opened it, it only had about 40% battery life. I run and gunned it, took like that to work. By the time I got home, I still had around 13% battery life left, and that was using it all day, texting, watching video. So it's really good. And then now that I've tested for a full day of charging it, it's actually worth it. It just depends on the person that you are, what type of phone you want. If you're an iOS person, I understand. You know, a lot of people like it because it's very simplistic. It's a very user-friendly interface. But if you're trying to do more things, you know, the downside with iOS devices is if you want to put music, download anything like that, you have to plug it into your computer, use iTunes, you know, which sucks. iTunes basically controls everything as far as the media platform of it. When it comes to the Android portion of it, it actually, you can plug it in like a USB drive. You can use you can just drag and drop files to it. It's very easy. There's no control. You can control it. You can use iTunes for it, but you would have to use it in sync with DoubleTwist, which is a player that'll sync or basically copy the exact same playlist you have on iTunes and put it here, and it'll work exactly the same way without having it locked, which is pretty cool. You can download music directly through it with an MP3 player. MP3 downloader from the Play Store. So it's pretty cool. Is it worth it for you guys? It just depends. What are you trying to do with it? I think it's worth it. I think it's over a year and it's still better than half the phones out there. In my opinion, I'm a wireless rep and I see phones day after day after day. So this is definitely one of my top picks. If you don't want spending a little bit more money, you want something very similar to this, and you want to get basically the most newest updates right away, I would definitely suggest getting like the Nexus 5 or the Nexus 6, which I personally have and I think it's really good. The Nexus 6 is more of my daily driver, but I have been using this one. I don't know what it is, but the screen on this one just looks so great. It's amazing. So it just depends on you guys what you want to do. But is it worth it? I think so. If you guys did like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.